The next case up for argument is Renee Geiser versus Wayne County Children's Services. Ms. Geiser is pro se. The Wayne County Children's Services has waived their argument. So that means you'll have 15 minutes to present your argument, Ms. Geiser. We ask that you stand at the podium and keep your voice up because the arguments are recorded on the court's YouTube channel. If there is reference to children, we ask that you use the children's initials instead of the name, since this is, on a YouTube channel, the arguments. Now, the court has read the briefs and we're ready to proceed if you are, so you'll have a 15-minute argument.
Thank you. For the records of the court, my name is Renee Geiser, and I am here representing my own foster home that we have together with my cousin Joanne Smith. May it please the court, I want to express my sincere gratitude for you hearing me today. This has been a burden on my heart to reveal what's happening to foster parents under the color of law. Our license has been suspended for 2 years. We've had no placements, although we have a valid license through Ohio Department of Job and Family Services. The county has made no placements, and from the laws that I have seen, the county has no authority to suspend a license, although they can recommend Ohio Department of Job and Family Services to do so. Ms. Euler's brief, kind of on page 2, kind of shows a little bit the attitude that we've been meeting with this whole case. They have not been willing to discuss anything with us on this. We've written letters, we've written grievances, basically just want to be heard, as we feel that it's a matter of, there's so many terms, I'm not an attorney, malice of office, malfeasance of office, intimidation, conflict of interest, I don't know, even what the proper term is. But it was very evident that this caseworker showed up at our home very upset. When she left, she actually left our house with her hands over her ears so as not to hear anything we had to say. Also in that brief, it says that they removed the children on our request. We never at any time requested all 4 of the children that were in our home to be removed. We had requested one child to be removed, and there was a sibling with that child. They did not know if they could keep the 2 children together, so we agreed that we could take the younger one, try to keep him along with the other sibling group that we had, and we would try it a little bit longer that way to see if we could handle it. However, if they could place these 2 together in another home, we are okay with them keeping the siblings together. So we did permit that they could remove 2 children from the home. They, within a few days of me taking those children to another foster home, they were out and removed the other 2 children against their own rules. They were removed against Rule 5101.148, where it says no unnecessary removal of children from a licensed foster home. It's hard for me to believe that this is really in the best interest of the children. I filed complaints on breach of contract. On the individualized child care agreement, it clearly states that the caseworker is there to help and support the foster parents with these children. We have been requesting help for these children for a couple months. Either help or removal. However, nothing was done. It seemed like they were not willing. They did not even recommend having the child evaluated. In state statutes, that it's listed under neglected child, that the care for the child's health, moral, and well-being be considered by the parent or guardian. However, as a foster parent, I can't do anything without the agency's permission. So I could do nothing as far as having the child evaluated by any medical professional, evaluated for counseling, nothing. They still did not remove the child. Policies and procedures that I feel they violated after they removed the children. Policies work both ways. I realize we made mistakes. I am human. However, they've also violated policies out of the same book. How can they keep going like this and doing this to numerous foster families and nothing happens? I also presented defamation. There's a statement right on the investigative report, which I know you have in your stuff, that says that one of the children was in the following home, pretending to be Renee, hitting her adoptive child. However, that statement is totally untrue, as my child is an MRDD child, and he has a My Plan thing that they go over each year. It is clearly stated on that plan that he does have a problem hitting his caregivers and therefore needs to be redirected. It is not me hitting the child, it is the child hitting me. Then we get down a little further here. I did look in Mike DeWine's book, and I know it says in there that a reviewing court presumes that a decision of an agency is valid and reached in a sound manner. I'd like to challenge that in our case. We were never heard by anyone on anything on our case. What qualifications did our family caseworker have to investigate this case and make pre-drawn conclusions without us even being heard? Was anything else considered, when they decided to suspend our license? We've been fostering for a very long time, since '03 to be exact, since '06 or '07 with this agency. Did they take into consider how long before this we were requesting help and requesting removal of a child? Did they consider that in the 9.5 years that we've been with this agency, we've had no violations? This is our first time for a rule violation. Rule 5101:2/528 says that they should also take into consideration the appropriateness of the placement. How could they not know that this placement was no longer appropriate after we had been requesting help or removal for this amount of time? Since that, we feel like we are being threatened by this agency. On January 17, it is now time to renew our license and get recertified, which happens every 2 years. And when they sent us the forms, we filled them out and got them back to them. However, they told us that that was just because it's a rule that they have to do. And they will be recommending the state to deny our license. We went ahead, finished up our classes that we needed to do, got our fingerprints done, totally ignoring that they wanted us, and they have suggested this already, to just voluntarily pull your license. That's not my desire today. I love fostering, and we love fostering the drug-exposed babies and the medically needy. However, it would be difficult to go back to using this agency. They said that they were denying the recertification for not cooperating, which we did the psychological evaluation, we did counseling, we signed a doctor's release. However, according to our doctor, nothing was done with that release in the 90-day time frame. So they began asking for more signatures of more releases.
Now, when you're saying they, you're talking about the state?
No, this is all Wayne County Children's Services
Wayne
Agency.
County, okay.
We refused to sign any more releases because along with that, they were asking to speak to the doctor, telling us we need to tell our doctor that he needs to speak to them. And our doctor is refusing to speak to them. He will write to them, but he said if I speak to them, they can twist it any way they want to. So he is refusing to speak to them. If they could have intimidated us enough, which intimidation is addressed in Rule 2921.03, and got us to not do our fingerprints, not finish up our classes, that would be reason enough to deny our license. However, we went ahead and did it anyhow. If in fact they were trying to get us to, or they were planning to deny us our license, according to rule, they should have sent us a specified form by certified mail. We never received anything. Now, as of March 4, they have contacted us to set up a home study. However, if in fact they were planning to deny our license, what's the purpose of the home study? Furthermore, we're still dealing with the same caseworker and the same supervisor to come out and do that home study. And after all this, how are we to feel as far as, are we even going to be treated fairly? Will they give us a fair home study? Or will they pick things apart to find something that we're not in cooperation with?
And this is all in regard to the recertification process with the state.
Yes.
But if you don't cooperate, then
Then it will automatically shut it down.
Had you ever dealt with this caseworker or this supervisor in the past?
This caseworker's been a caseworker for 3 years. Over this amount of time, she has verbally told us herself that she does get very upset, and that her coworkers will ask her if they need to read what she is writing before she sends it out. I have not witnessed, except when she was to our house, and also when we were there to go over our recommendations from our psychological evaluation. Both times she was very upset. And when we went there to go over the recommendations, we tried to bring up a few of the points. However, she began raising her voice, and I said, we're not settling a case by yelling at each other. I don't settle a case by yelling.
It looks like, in reading the court's entry, most of his rulings were based on legal findings, I guess, that you did not state a claim, failure to state a claim, failure to state a claim, on the first 3 counts, on the first 4 counts, actually on all 5 counts. And I've read so many briefs. Did you address that in your briefs? The court's actual dismissal.
I do know, with my limited amount of knowledge, I've tried to study into this, and I do know that apparently I was not stating something right, as far as we're not looking to get rich off of this. We are simply looking to reveal what's happening to foster parents, and yet it burdens me when you see things like this in the paper, that there's such an immediate need for foster homes. We've always been highly regarded by doctors at Akron Children's, by the community, Help Me Grow, that kind of places, in the work we've done with these children. And, you know, to me, just to come out and start falsely accusing me, and then everything is shut off. There's no chance to say anything on what was happening.
Got 1 minute left.
I'd really like to see that we would get to be able to go through our files and dispute any of the information that is wrong. I do not expect to get monetary reimbursement for the amount that we have lost for not fostering, as we were always kept very busy, and that amount could amount to $20,000 to $30,000 a year, which has been a loss, but I would like to see some reimbursement for the counseling costs and also for court costs.
Thank you very much for your arguments this morning, Ms. Geiser. The court will take the matter under advisement, and we will issue a decision in due course. Once that decision is released, you will be mailed a copy, as will the Wayne County Children's Services. The opinions are also posted on the Supreme Court of Ohio's website for your information as well. But thank you for coming down and arguing today.
All right, thank you very much.